Welcome to the ASTRALX Deep Dive, illuminating your path. I'm Solarian Zephyr, your cosmic strategist.
I'm Solanaria Selene, your intuitive guide.
We bridge celestial wisdom,
Unlock your modern path.
discover guiding starlight insights.
Explore powerful cosmic energies.
How do planetary transits shape your story today?
Today, we're really getting into it. We're doing a deep dive into the specific cosmic weather, the potential path ahead for a Scorpio Sun woman with Aries Rising. And this is all based on the source material you shared, specifically looking at 2025. That source is kind of our map for this exploration.
Okay, let's unpack this journey then. Right at the start, the source gives us this really powerful core archetype for this specific profile in 2025. Hephaestia Persephone. I mean, that alone just sounds intense.
It really does, doesn't it? The source paints this picture of the armored queen of the underworld, which, speaks volumes about that deep transformative Scorpio sun power. But then it adds this distinct battle cry, and that's clearly the Aries rising energy coming through. It's a real fusion.
A fusion. Like fire and shadow working together.
Exactly. The source actually calls this person a living crucible. Just imagine that a space where, like, volcanic action, that Aries force and readiness, meets the really deep, hidden alchemy of Scorpio.
And the metaphors are so striking. Your sword is forged in shadow, your shield, the dawn itself. It feels like the power comes from dealing with the dark stuff.
Yes, and the protection, the shield, is about that emergence, that action. It suggests strength found in moving forward, maybe after facing something difficult.
It really paints a picture, doesn't it?
Mm.
Power born from darkness, but the defense is all about light and action.
It absolutely does. It's not just internal navel-gazing work. It's about how that deep inner forging translates into a powerful outward presence. It definitely sets the stage for the kind of intense year the planets seem to be pointing towards.
Right. And speaking of the planets, the source talks about 2025 as a cosmic smithy. It uses this term quantum astrology, a smithy, where things get hammered into shape. So who are the big players doing the hammering for this profile, according to the source?
Okay, so the key planets highlighted, they create this really potent mix. First up, Pluto. It's in Aquarius, sitting right in your fourth house. The source says this is about revolutionizing your ancestral foundations, like a gravitational pull deep in your emotional core. It's about collapsing old generational patterns.
Collapsing generational patterns. Whoa, that sounds like the ground shifting beneath your feet, but like on a soul level.
It is. It's this really powerful, almost unavoidable transformation aimed right at your roots. Family, history, emotional security, that deep sense of home. Then, your Scorpio sun is highly active in the 8th house, and the source describes this placement as commanding rebirth through shadow alchemy.
Commanding rebirth, so not just going through it, but actively directing it somehow.
That's the sense, yeah. And it adds this phrase, generating nuclear fusion and shared power dynamics. So think intense transformative energy focused on things like joint finances, intimacy, inheritances, shared power, deep stuff.
And that feels connected to the Pluto work in the 4th, right? Roots and shared power often intertwine.
Definitely. The source suggests they're working together intensely. Okay, so the deep roots are getting shaken up. Your core identity is actively transforming power dynamics. What else is in this cosmic smithy?
What else is shaping this year?
You've also got Saturn in Pisces, and it's in your 12th house. The source describes Saturn here as dissolving karmic chains and oceanic consciousness.
Dissolving chains. Sounds freeing. But Saturn can also feel heavy, restrictive, can it? Especially in the 12th.
It can be both, yeah. The 12th is tricky. The source sees Saturn here almost like a black hole compressor. It takes illusions, hidden patterns, subconscious baggage, and it crushes them down. But the potential outcome is turning them into soul diamonds. So it's like the discipline of Saturn working in those deep, hidden spiritual realms to reveal something valuable.
Soul diamonds from crushed delusions. That's an amazing way to think about finding strength by letting go of what wasn't serving you. Maybe things you didn't even realize were holding you back.
Exactly. And there's one more key player the source flags. Mars. It moves into Cancer, which lands it back in that busy 4th house from about July 20th to September 4th. And the source calls this weaponizing emotional intelligence in the domain of roots and family.
Mars and Cancer in the 4th.
Okay.
So Mars is action, Cancer is emotion, home, 4th house is roots, family, putting it together, taking action about family and home, but using emotional awareness.
Yeah.
Like protective action.
Yes, precisely. Action rooted in feeling, in protection. But the source frames it almost like a Self-defense or setting strong boundaries within those foundational areas of your life,
Yeah.
necessary action.
Wow. Okay, so putting all this together, Pluto shaking the foundations in the 4th, the Scorpio Sun transforming power in the 8th, Saturn dissolving old karma in the 12th, and Mars bringing focused action to the home front in the 4th. The source calls this configuration quantum entrapment. What does that mean? How would that feel?
It sounds intense. It's like all these really fundamental areas of your life, your roots, your power, your subconscious stuff, they're all intensely activated at the same time. And they're interconnected. The source suggests it feels kind of inescapable, a powerful collision point.
Right.
The inner work on your emotional foundations, 4th, and shared power, 8th, is just unavoidable. And Saturn in the 12th is making sure you process the deep, maybe hidden karmic pieces tied to it all. So you're sort of entrapped by the sheer force of transformation in these key life areas.
And the source points to a specific peak intensity point,
Right.
that Mars-Pluto opposition around August 18th. It calls reality then a holographic anvil. That sounds dramatic.
Yeah, that's framed as a really critical moment. You've got Mars action, conflict directly facing off against Pluto, transformation, power, and both are hitting those deep root and power themes. The source says it's like your soul itself becomes both the hammer shaping things and the molten metal being shaped. It's a time where that inner forging is incredibly active, maybe even confrontational. You could see real, tangible shifts in your foundational reality then.
What really grabs me here is that the source doesn't just leave these as abstract ideas, it ties them right into the physical body, this idea of somatic astrology and the body as an armored vessel.
Absolutely. The thinking here is that these powerful cosmic energies, they don't just float around in your head or affect your external life. Your body actually registers them, responds to them physically. For that Aries rising energy, for instance, the source points to specific things you might physically feel.
Like what, for example?
Things like feeling electric currents along the spine during confrontation, or maybe getting restless leg syndrome when action feels blocked. You know, that Aries fire wants to move, and if it can't, the body kind of vibrates with it.
That makes so much sense, like physical static from blocked energy. Okay, what about the Scorpio Sun in the 8th? That's such a deep, sensitive placement.
For that, the source describes sensations like pressure in the pelvis during power struggles. That connects directly to Scorpio's rulership, those deep centers of power and transformation. Or even icy fingertips during psychic attacks, which touches on that potential sensitivity and boundary awareness, often linked with strong Scorpio or 8th house energy.
And the really deep work with Pluto in the 4th.
Yeah.
The ancestral stuff, how might that feel in the body?
The source uses these incredibly powerful images, like feeling earthquake tremors in the womb during family revelations, suggesting the sheer physical impact of uncovering unsettling truths about your lineage, or even jaw cracks when ancestral vows break, representing the physical tension we hold around those unspoken family contracts or obligations when they're finally confronted or released.
Those descriptions are so visceral. And the source doesn't just point out sensations, right? It gives actual prompts, ways to engage with these feelings somatically.
Exactly. For that Aries rising fire needing an outlet, it suggests literally stomping barefoot while punching the air and shouting, "My rage clears space." It's about giving that energy a physical pathway out.
A direct physical release for that intensity. Makes sense.
And for the Scorpio Sun in the 8th, focused on transmutation, the source suggests placing obsidian, that protective stone, over your sacrum and chanting, "I transmute fear to fuel," using the stone, the placement, the intention to channel that intensity into strength.
Okay, and for Pluto in the 4th, dealing with the deep roots.
The suggestion is drumming on your lower abdomen during a thunderstorm, consciously trying to reclaim generational power. The storm mirrors the ancestral turbulence. The drumming connects to that core lineage space. It's a physical act of reclaiming.
So the message seems to be, this isn't just happening to you. Your body is a crucial part of navigating this. You can actively, physically engage with these energies. It's about embodying the transformation.
Yeah, and to help connect these personal experiences to something broader, the source brings in some historical and cultural figures, people who seem to embody this warrior alchemist energy. It helps to see the archetype in action.
Like Marie Curie. The source mentioned her,
Yeah.
right?
Now, maybe not literally Aries rising on her birth certificate, but the source sees her as embodying that blend. Her relentless, deep Scorpio sun drive for truth, uncovering radioactivity that resonates with Pluto and Scorpio diving deep. But then her pioneering courage, stepping into completely new territory that feels like the Aries initiating fire. The source actually says she weaponized her depths.
Weaponized her depths.
Hmm.
That really captures it, taking what's hidden or maybe seen as dark and using it proactively, powerfully.
Exactly. Other examples the source gives from culture include Lisbeth Salander, from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, seen as this potent mix of scorpionic depth and resilience, but with that fierce Aries quality when pushed.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. And Ripley from the Alien films, too.
Right. She starts more nurturing, but transforms into this incredible cosmic warrior, fiercely protective, incredibly resilient, able to fight back hard when threatened. There's a mix of that almost maternal protectiveness, maybe a nod to Cancer fourth house themes, with definite warrior action.
Then Florence Welch was mentioned, too, specifically her song Seven Devils.
Yeah, her music often goes into those really gothic, intense, emotional places, confronting inner demons, but with this raw primal power. It definitely evokes that Scorpio-Pluto depth alongside an Aries-Mars kind of roar.
These examples really help ground that archetype we talked about. They show how channeling intensity, digging for truth in darkness, and finding transformation through conflict can actually look in the world. Powerful, even if sometimes difficult.
And building right on that, the source then offers practical ways to engage, calling them interactive elements. These are like tools for you to actively work with these intense energies we've been discussing.
Okay, so not just understanding it, but actually doing something with it. What are they? First, there's a pause and reflect, timed around the Scorpio new moon, November 1st.
Yes, and the source gives really specific questions for that time. Things designed to connect you directly to the transits, like, what ancestral battle, thinking Pluto in the fourth, fuels my present rage, and what shadow power, that's the Scorpio 8th house piece, demands conscious wielding?
Those are deep questions. Directly linking your inner world to the astrology sounds like a really potent time for journaling or deep thought.
For sure. Then there's a more hands-on practice, a ritual blueprint called the Ancestral Forge Ignition. This one's linked to that Mars in Cancer period, specifically during the waning moon in Scorpio between August 19th and September 1st.
Ancestral Forge Ignition. Sounds powerful. What's involved?
The source gets specific with tools: an iron nail, a red candle, a bowl of salt water, and a family photo. The idea is you heat the nail in the flame, whisper your boundary or intention into it, and then quench it, cool it quickly in the salt water held over the photo. While you do that, you chant something like, I reshape my bloodline steel.
And then you wear the nail afterwards.
Yeah, the suggestion is to wear it as a pendant. It's this really symbolic physical act. It grounds that abstract idea of working with ancestral patterns and setting boundaries, using that Mars and Cancer energy very deliberately.
And the last one is an embodiment practice, the volcanic spine activation.
This one is all about feeling the energy in your body. The source guides you to stand in a warrior pose, hands on hips. Then you do this breath cycle. Inhale for 4 seconds, imagining fire coming up from your feet. Hold that energy in your solar plexus, your power center, for 4 seconds. And then exhale forcefully for 8 seconds with a really audible HA sound.
Inhale fire, hold the power, explosive release. Got it.
Exactly. And there's an affirmation to go with it. I am destruction becoming creation. It's a physical way to tap into and embody that volcanic transformative energy we discussed, feeling the power of breaking down and rebuilding within yourself.
These tools really offer concrete ways to engage mind-body ritual with these powerful forces throughout the year.
So as you navigate all this, using these tools perhaps, the source material lays out potential pathways, calling them crucibles of power. It suggests different outcomes depending on how you engage with the energies.
So it's not just one set path. Your choices, how you work with it, actually matter.
Precisely. The source explicitly calls them soul choices. It outlines 3 main potential paths. Path 1 is named the unbreakable matriarch. This is the outcome if you consciously, constructively embrace the Pluto and Saturn energies.
Okay, what might that look like, practically speaking?
The source suggests things like founding trauma-informed communities, maybe even on ancestral land, or taking difficult inheritances, whether money or emotional patterns, and actively alchemizing them into a powerful, positive legacy. It's about taking those deep Plutonian root revelations, the Scorpio power work, the Saturnian discipline from the 12th house, and building something really solid and healing.
That sounds like a very empowered outcome.
Yep.
What's path 2? It's called the self-consuming flame. That doesn't sound as good.
No, this one is presented more as a warning, according to the source. It's what might happen if you resist the transformation or try to hold power or maybe repress that Mars energy instead of channeling it. The source warns this could manifest physically or energetically, things like autoimmune flares from unprocessed rage, chronic fatigue, maybe strange illnesses that are hard to diagnose. It's like the intensity turns inward destructively because it isn't being used.
So trying to suppress or control this kind of energy could actually backfire, maybe even make you sick.
That's the interpretation here, yes. Then path 3 is called the Phoenix Legion. This path involves actively channeling the synergy, the connection between the fourth house roots, home, and the eighth house power transformation.
And how might that manifest? What does a Phoenix Legion look like?
The source gives examples like creating righteous rage self-defense schools. It's about taking vulnerability and turning it into armor, using intensity for empowerment and protection. It even mentions a specific timing, suggesting that volcanic vulnerability workshops, maybe blending combat skills with emotional processing, could become really popular during that Mars in Cancer transit, July 20th, set forth. Like, people are ready for that fierce, protective, emotionally aware energy.
That links back so clearly to Mars and Cancer in the fourth. Using that drive for protection, boundaries, taking action from an emotionally intelligent place, right in your core foundation.
Exactly. And the key takeaway from the source on these paths is that they aren't predetermined. Their outcomes link directly to your consciousness, your choices, how you decide to navigate these very potent cosmic forces.
To really boil it all down, the source provides this core message, calling it the 2025 mandate. It feels like a direct address, a call to action for this specific archetype.
It really does. It starts by reframing the core energies. Your Aries rising isn't recklessness. It's the universe unsheathing its sword. Your Scorpio Sun isn't darkness. It's the cosmic forge where gods temper steel.
That shift in perspective is powerful, from potential liability to inherent strength and purpose.
Yes. And then it gives direct guidance for the challenges. When Pluto detonates ancestral foundations, 4H, build your throne from the rubble. When Saturn dissolves victimhood, 12H, armor your tenderness. It's all about active engagement, rebuilding, protecting your core.
And that line about Mars and Cancer comes up again, doesn't it? Mars will ignite your warrior womb in July, prepare to mother like a gladiator and war like a midwife. That phrase is so evocative.
It's such a powerful paradox, isn't it? It suggests bringing that intense protective fierceness, the gladiator, to whatever you're creating or nurturing, but also bringing nurturing care, facilitation, the midwife to conflict or the battles you face.
So fierceness and nurturing aren't opposites. They can be integrated.
Yeah.
You can fight with care and nurture with strength.
That seems to be the essence. And the source reminds us, remember, the volcanoes birth fertile soil. Let your rage be generative. Even destruction can lead to new life. Don't be afraid of the intensity. Channel it.
And it sums it all up with the sovereignty code for the year. I fight to resurrect. I destroy to rebirth.
That code just perfectly captures the active, transformative, maybe even ruthless but necessary energy of this year described in the source for this profile. It's about consciously engaging with cycles of death and rebirth.
And there was one last little bit, a cosmic note about the solar eclipse in Libra on October 2nd.
Right. The source flags this as a potential relationship reboot, a chance to redefine partnerships, to really step into them as a sovereign equal, not falling into old patterns of being the savior or the soldier in your connections. It shows how all this deep inner work ultimately impacts how you relate to others.
Okay, so bringing this all together, this deep dive has covered so much, from the source material, the intense archetype, the planetary forces, the body connection, the potential paths, that final mandate.
As our cosmic journey concludes,
Based on everything we've explored from the source material, this intense transformation, the fusion of fire and shadow, embodying power, building from rubble, armoring tenderness. Here's something to maybe sit with. What does it truly mean for you in your own life this year to mother like a gladiator and war like a midwife? How could embracing both that fierce protection and that generative care reshape how you meet challenges and how you bring your own creations into the world?
dive deeper into your unique path.
Request your email audio reading now.
Find the link in the description below.
Explore episode resources and links.
All details are waiting for you there.
Ignite. Think.
Become.
Subscribe for Starlight Insights. Thank you for joining us.